Okay, fans, if you are a fan of any of the teams in the AFC West, my co-host Mike and myself, we're going to take and give our 2023 NFL draft grades. Man, was there a lot of hype, drama, sadness, happiness, really everything in this draft. So we're going to get into it here. Mike, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing well. Draft time is always a phenomenal time, man. It gives a little more hope for the next year.
Yes, sir. And for those who are new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe. This is our fourth time running this series, man. We're going on now our fourth season of doing the show, The Touchdown with Doug Smith. So, Mike, I'm eternally grateful for you joining me, and let's get into it. Now, first team we're going to take and discuss for the AFC West is your team, the hat you have on your head, my friend, Denver Broncos. Now, according to MSN, they ranked the Broncos with a B-, just real high level, man. They got Marvin Mims, great pickup. They got Drew Sanders, linebacker, Arkansas, Riley Moss, J.L. Skinner, and then out of Boise State, and then, of course, Alex Forsyth from Oregon. What do you grade the Denver Broncos?
I give it a solid B, man, just because I like having a good amount of picks, and obviously after that rush trade is now complete, we didn't have the picks we normally have, but I think getting Mims, in our chat I called it. I was like, man, I think they're getting Mims. Traded up, got him. And then J.L. Skinner had like a second, third round grade towards Peck. He's about a month away from being fully healed, and we got him in the 6th round. So I think those two picks stand out a lot. And it fills in some spots, fills in some need spots, creates some more competition. That's always good.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'll probably give them like a B. I like what they did, man. Nothing pops out a whole lot. I would say my favorite out of those would definitely be Drew Sanders, man. I've been very high on Drew. This is a guy I think he's going to transition really nicely into the NFL, and what a steal for him to fall all the way to the third round there. Then we got the Kansas City Chiefs, and man, did the rich get richer here. B+ is what MSN.com gives them. They got Felix Anudike Ozoma out of Kansas State. It's a DN. Rashee Rice, who's allegedly the fastest receiver in this year's class. Wanya Morris, offensive tackle, Oklahoma, is really light on his feet. It's a great guy. Chamari Connor out of Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech. They got BJ Thompson. They got Keandre Coburn. Nick Jones, who's a fan of the show. If you're a Chiefs fan, we've had him on the show. Nick Jones is a great guy. Shout out to Nick Jones. That's my guy right there. Check out that interview if you get a chance. But they give him a B+. Mike, what do you give him?
I'm not as high on their grade. I give them a solid like B as well. I think their draft, they swung a lot, and I don't think some of those guys are going to be like high-level producers, but I do think Felix Anudike-Uzomah, the DN from Kansas State, I think that guy has an unlimited motor. Rashee Rice from SMU. They put out people. Emmanuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is real close to that big physical kind of Cortland Sutton type receiver. Will be a good replacement for Juju Smith-Schuster. So I think they got some impact players. They got a couple guys that'll take some years to develop if they do make the roster. But the rich got richer because they didn't really need much, man. They handled everything they needed to in the offseason. So they'll be solid and getting on my nerves still next year.
I hear you, man. For me, I'm gonna give them a little more love here. I'm gonna give them a solid A. I love what they did, man. They added layers to where they're already good at. I think the Rashee Rice is important. Not saying he's gonna be Tyreek Hill, but man, you get a speedy guy like Rashee in there, man. Watch him work, watch him develop. That's exciting. They got Nick Jones, who, if he went to like an Alabama, a big name school instead of Ball State, this guy would have been gone by round 3 at the latest. But he slid down to 7th. This dude is such an elite talent, man. I'm not just saying this. I know him personally. This guy's a baller. I love everything. The Wanya Morris, man, that one especially, man. That dude should have been gone like the beginning of 2nd. So that's another guy that they capitalized on. They beefed up that O-line, beefed up Aries Needs. So I'm going to give him a solid A. Next one is the LA Chargers. Very interesting picks here. So we got Quentin Johnston. Man, he, I think it was a 2nd receiver off the board, I believe. Tui Pelotu. I know his brother Marlon, who plays on the Eagles. So that's a really great prospect there. Diane Henley, Washington State. Darius Davis, Jordan McFadden, Scott Matlock, and Max Duggan, quarterback, TCU. MSN took and gave him a B. And again, this is based off a San Diego Times article that they put out. They gave him a B as in Bravo. Mike, what you got him at?
I agree with that, man. I feel like you're probably like, oh man, everybody get a B. I'm hating. Like I gave my team a B too. I think they've been plagued by the injury bug at the wrong times. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams both got hurt, so getting a Quentin Johnson, working him in there. I see the pick of Darius Davis. I thought that was interesting when there were some better prospects on the board, in my opinion. Like Trey Tucker was still on the board at the time he got picked. There was a few more guys that were on the board that I thought could have been a little bit better, but they did address their offensive line, and Tui Pelotu is
Mhm.
my favorite pick for them. Big, solid DN gives them some more depth in the D line. That's an area that they've been hurting for a while as well. But outside of that, man, some of them like Max Duggan's not going to make the roster. Like I don't think behind Justin Herbert he'll make that roster. He'll be a practice squad guy. He definitely has some development to do as far as in the pass game. And his play style of play. I like drafting quarterbacks that their style of play is very similar to your quarterback. If you do get hurt, completely different style than Justin Herbert, who has been relatively healthy. But I give him like a B minus, man. Probably the worst grade in our division, honestly. And unfortunately, as we cover the last one, man, like the team I hate the most probably had the best grade in our division.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna say ditto pretty much to everything that you said. There were other better receivers on the board there, man. Tyler Scott. I mean, there was a bunch of people who were, I would say, were probably a lot better than Darius Davis, kind of thing. But who knows? Maybe we swallow our words, 3 years from now. We're like, oh man, Doug and Mike are so dumb. Can't believe we said that, right? But who knows? Max Dugan plays completely different. I guess the benefit to that was like when Alex Smith went down and Colin Kaepernick came in the playoffs many ago, and the game plan was for an Alex Smith type quarterback, not a Colin, and then boom, he ran all over the place, right? And then he was also not a complete product, but he was just making a lot of good throws with a strong arm too, right? So I guess that would be the benefit of that. But you also made a good point, Mike. Who knows if he even makes the team? I think Max Dugan is definitely needs some development, but should be an interesting prospect nonetheless. But yeah, I'll give him a solid B minus there for sure. And then the last team, Las Vegas Raiders. MSN.com takes and has them graded as a B. B as in Bravo. First pick they got, Tyree Wilson, defensive end, Texas Tech. Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. Byron Young, D-line, Alabama. Trey Tucker, real quick, gotta shout out Trey Tucker, friend of the show, interviewed him. Check out that interview. Great guy, man. Like, I know a lot of Raiders fans. I was talking with y'all online. Y'all were pissed off. Oh, man, we need more defense. Man, look, chill out. Trey Tucker's here to stay. He's probably debatably one of the best. I want to say he is the best, but one of the best slot receivers, and he can return punts and kicks. This guy is going to turn the world upside down. Great pickup there. Then you got Jacorian Bennett out of Maryland, Aiden O'Connell, Christopher Smith, Amari Burney out of Florida, and Nesta Jade Silvera coming out of Arizona State. Now they gave them a B. Mike, what do you give them?
Yeah, I disagree with that, man. I'd give them a solid A. Honestly, their first 5 picks will probably be starting. And I think it's kind of hard to say somebody has a B when they pick impactful players like that, right? Tyree Wilson fills a huge need in their D-line, opposite Max Crosby, 2 long athletic pass rushers. That's going to be a nightmare for every team in the division. Michael Mayer was arguably the best tight end in this draft. He wasn't my top tight end, but there was a bunch of scouts who thought he was a top tight end. Byron Young can kind of come in and be able to play or start right away. Trey Tucker will be that slot receiver, super fast. He'll be able to punt return, kick return as well. Friend of the show, like you said. And Ja'Cory Bennett, I think, was a little bit underrated at corner, super athletic, plays physically. And that was the worst. The thing that they needed the most is secondary. I think they could have doubled down a little bit more, but at least adding an underrated corner that can make an impact right away, I think is good. So I honestly think they had the best draft based on their needs and based on the players they got. So again, it hurts me to say that because I got this big D on my head, like I'm a Broncos fan, obviously, but the Raiders did not have a Raiders draft. They looked pretty good in this draft, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'll go a little step further. I give him a B plus. I like what they did a lot. Michael Mayer is a really good tight end, man. I'm not saying he's gonna replace the guy they just traded off to New York. I'm not saying that at all. People are like, oh, dog, you don't understand. I know. I'm not saying that. But he's very, very good. Like Byron Young and Tyree Wilson, they beefed up the defense a lot, man. I know there's a lot of receivers over in that room, but man, Trey Tucker, man, that's a great pickup, man. And then of course you got guys like Amari Burney and so forth. out of Georgia. I love it, man. They did good. I give them a B+. Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.